Hi, guys, and welcome to episode 11 of Beauty in the Beast podcast. I know we are back in my humble abode. It is purely because I have a doctor's appointment straight after this and there's no travel time. So, quick life update. I do have a brand new puppy. Her name is Rolo, and you guys will be meeting her very soon. And hopefully, she'll be coming on all of the podcasts with us. So, I can't wait for you guys to meet her. Today, we are going to be discussing something that is potentially going to be a little bit triggering for some of the viewers. So, if you find any conversations about weight loss triggering, then please skip this podcast and maybe listen to one of the old episodes like Glimmers versus Triggers and something that can hopefully help you, because I think this one, there is a slight chance that it can be quite upsetting, maybe what we're going to be talking about today. So we're going to be talking about the rise in skinny talk, looks maxing, and GLP-1s and the effects that this is having on the younger community and this generation, of how normalized these things have become. So GLP-1s, what are they? So our gut naturally produces this GLP-1. So it's a hormone that is produced naturally in our body, and it lasts for about 2 minutes in our body until we metabolize it. Now, we have made a semi-glutide, which is also known as Ozempic, that you can inject once a week, and it keeps this GLP-1 hormone around for up to a week in your bloodstream, which decreases your appetite and it slows down your digestion and it makes you feel fuller for longer. And a lot of people say that these GLP-1s just completely get rid of your food noise, etc. Now, a quick disclaimer on this. I have taken Manjaro, Wegovy, Ozempic, Sandexter, and Orlistat. So I have taken all 5 of these weight loss medications in a previous life. I am obviously somebody who is on social media quite frequently. I think my screen time is about 8 hours a day. And I was looking up for this podcast, the average screen time for the majority of adults in the UK. And for the majority of adults, screen time, and that includes like your phones, your laptops, your TVs, is around 6 to 8 hours. And for people under the age of 20, it's 8 hours plus. Now, the emphasis that Ozempic, Manjaro, and Wegovy has had on this lollipop body, stick thin, heroin chic, look maxing has had is undescribable. There has become a version of normal that is actually not normal because it's unsustainable. So normal bodies have rolls, cellulite, excess skin, acne. That's a normal body. That's a normal human being. And when we are undertaking these weight loss medications in such high frequencies, and not just that, but the discussions of them is everywhere. They were spoken about at the Oscars, they were spoken about at the Emmys, they're spoken about on every talk show, they're spoken about on every single kind of like podcast where they're talking about weight loss or body confidence. It's yes, these weight loss jabs are great for people who are obese. Okay. It's always the risk versus the reward with these jabs. So, with some of the studies on Ozempic, it has been shown to minimize your chances of up to 13 different types of cancer, reduce your chances of a stroke, and also heart disease. Now, of course, this weight loss jab is going to do that, because the result of taking the weight loss jab is that you lose weight. And that is on someone who is morbidly obese. So the risk of being obese, of course, is going to be greater than the side effects of taking a skinny pen, Wegovy, Ozempic, Manjaro. But what's not been discussed, what's not being studied, and what is really worrying to me as somebody who's in recovery and I want to bring a child into this world, is the amount of normal bodies and healthy BMIs that are taking this weight loss pen. Now, I know that this may come across almost like controversial, and it might be a little bit like, Annie, what are you talking about because you took it? I did take it. And I also took it at one of my lowest weights because I'm an addict. And at that point, I was addicted to weight loss. So now you're telling me that there's a pen that I can inject that is going to be a miracle and it's going to stop me thinking about food. It doesn't fix your food noise. It doesn't fix your relationship with your body. All it does is make you less hungry. Now, if you're an emotional eater, or you're a binge eater, or you are a restrictive eater, then there is a reason why you do this. Okay, there is an emotional and mental reason why you use food as a comfort or a weapon. Now, if you take these weight loss jabs, that isn't going to fix the problem. That's going to put a band-aid on it. That's not the solution. Now, I have also been horrified, and I'm going to talk about a personal story here. I was scrolling on Facebook. So I was just scrolling. And you know, at the top of Facebook now, you see like the Facebook stories. And there was one guy that was in my local town who sells cars. So I was just clicking through, looking at these cars. I didn't need a car, but I was just doom scrolling. And I saw weight loss pens in stock. And he was selling Ozempic, Manjaro, and Wegovy. And that he was selling them at £30 a pen. Now, the average prescription cost for these medications are anywhere between £200 to £300. And on top of that, majority of the time, you need to pay for the prescribing fee, which could be about £50 to £100. So I thought this is where we're getting to now, aren't we? We're getting to the point where you can go and buy a new car and you can also go and get a skinny pen. Now, this guy who was selling these pens is not a practitioner, doesn't have a medical license. He knows nothing about nutrition. He knows nothing about diet. He knows nothing about mental or physical health. But he's selling you something that you are going to inject into your body. Please think about that. Now, I have had conversations with so many clients of mine, and they say, "Oh yeah, I'm on the skinny jab," and I'm like, "Which one?" And they're like, "I'm not sure. I message a lady on WhatsApp, and she posts it to me," and I'm like, "Okay, all right. Is it in a syringe? Is it in a pen?" And they're like, "No, it's in a syringe." So there are people who are drawing up these medications, chucking them in the post box, and they're coming to your doorstep. Now, what I don't think people understand is the risk of contamination with pinprick needle injuries. It's huge. You can get HIV, hepatitis B, hepatitis C. It's unbelievably dangerous, and you have no idea what is in this medication when people are buying it on the black market. I feel really passionate about this, and I have written notes, but I'm passionate about it because I know right now that I could contact probably 10 different people, 5 legitimate, 5 black market, and I could have Ozempic or Manjaro in my fridge by tomorrow afternoon. Yes, I have a little bit of a easier connection to medical professionals from my industry, but I know that I'm not the only one. I know that you could literally be having a conversation with a friend, they've dropped a dress size, and you think, "Okay, I'll try it," and you could be on it the next day. And a lot of the conversation is, "Well, everyone's on it, so it's risk-free." There's been 573 hospitalizations from GLP-1s, and that's up to the 31st of January 2025. There has been 20,160 UK reported reactions from GLP-1s. There's been 18 deaths reported to the MHRA from semaglutides like Ozempic between June 2020 and November 2024. There has been 82 deaths linked to adverse reactions as of January 2025. On top of that, we hear all about the celebrities that have been on this weight loss pens and these weight loss jabs. There's rumors that the Kardashians have been on it. I think anybody with even 5 brain cells to rub together could see how dramatic the weight loss has been on the Kardashians, especially Kim Kardashian. You look at Ariana Grande, you look at the whole cast of Wicked. What the fuck happened there? I'm sorry, this is a movie for kids, for babies, for little girls with growing minds. And you watch the first Wicked, and then you watch part 2, and they're dying in front of us. They are dying in front of us, and we're just watching it. And we're celebrating it. And you can see more bones than you can see life in their eyes. And I can't wrap my head around this as someone who's trying to look at it from a recovered mindset, because yes, I was undergoing these weight loss jabs. Yes, I have been a part of the issue, but now I've changed my mind because I realized that I was falling into the trap again of skinny means healthy. Skinny doesn't mean healthy. Not always. The average kind of body fat for a woman should be 20 to 30%. Now, if you drop under the 18 to 19%, your periods stop. You're tired. Your hormones can drop. You can risk the chance of never being able to have a baby. And it's being promoted. So these kids that are being put in front of the TV and they've always got an iPad in front of their face, or they've got the phone. And if you go to a school now and you look at their lunch breaks, I bet you majority of the teenagers or tweens that are anywhere above the age of kind of 14, on their break, they're TikToking, they're Instagramming, they're Facebooking. And what are they seeing? They're seeing heroin chic. They're seeing malnourished bodies. They're seeing this everywhere, and it's normalized and it's glamorized. It's glamorized. Ariana Grande, is there someone that's more famous than her at the moment? Probably not. She is being glamorized and she's got an active eating disorder in front of us. I'm not just diagnosing, I'm not just looking at her and saying that, because she may have an illness. But if she has an illness, I really think that it's fucking an eating disorder, because her performance is incredible and she seems like such a beautiful human. But this is what our little kids are going to be looking up to and thinking is normal. And then they're going to look at their mums that had their normal bodies and their mums that would pop into the fridge and have a couple of bars of chocolate. And now their mums are going to be popping into the fridge and injecting themselves weekly. We don't realise the impact this is going to have. I scroll on TikTok, and it's not really as bad on Instagram, but it's definitely bad on TikTok. And I try and curate my algorithm to be something that's positive and happy, but I'm constantly inundated with skinny talk, looks maxing. You're not hungry. You're not a dog. Don't reward yourself with food. Shut up. If you're hungry, eat. That's the bottom line of it. That is the bottom line. Your body needs fuel to survive. And everything that we are forcing down the throats of children and ourselves is disgusting. And I know I've kind of gone off track here and I've got a little bit passionate about this, but I am passionate about this because I'm concerned and I am only getting more concerned with in the next 5 to 10 years, there's going to be an increase of up to 24 to 40 million people that are going to be expected to be on these GLP-1 medications. 1 in 10 people at the moment are on these medications. Now, the side effects, severe vomiting and diarrhea, constipation, links to colon cancer because the toxin is staying into your colon for much longer because your digestive system slows down. They're just the physical ones. We're not talking about the mental ones. When you've been restricting because of this medication and then you stop the medication, maybe for financial reasons or you've hit a goal or anything along those lines, and then your hunger cues come back because they will, do you then carry on restricting? Or do you then binge because you've been restricting? And then does that binge lead you to purge? Or does that binge lead you to restrict? And does this start a vicious cycle? And just because you're in this cycle, again, doesn't necessarily mean that you are going to have an eating disorder. It's a mental health condition above anything else. But as we know, and as we've discussed so much on this podcast, is that you can be in a healthy weight and have an eating disorder. And that's just my fear. That's just my worry. I just wanted to do this episode because I've had so many people ask me, Annie, what do you think about Ozempic? What do you think about Mounjaro? I was on it on and off for about maybe a year. I was on it on and off for about a year. I am horrified even saying that because I never should have been on it. And I did it through so many different pathways. Online doctors, online pharmacies, from people I know, from medical professionals. Not once was I ever given advice on nutrition. Never. Not once did I ever have any health checks beforehand. Not once was I ever asked if I have a history of an eating disorder. Not once. Not once. And now they're becoming bigger and better. And there's apparently going to be some medications that you can take monthly instead of weekly. And they're going to try and cut the costs and all of this. Are these conversations going to be had? Are they going to check this? Or is this just going to be our new normal? Is this going to be the new way that we live? Are we going to be glamorizing weight loss? And does weight loss mean you're healthy? Are we just going to be thinking about our physical appearance rather than our physical health and above our mental health? I wish this was more positive. I wish I had kind of a conclusion to give you guys. But I just want to say this just to end this podcast. I know it's been short and sweet, but just remember, please, that you are more than the size of your jeans. And I know I say this, I know it's repetitive, but it's so fucking true. If you let this beast in your head control every day of the rest of your life, then you're going to live a really unhappy life. Life is so much more than what is or isn't on your plate. Life is so much more than the way that these clothes fit. Life is so much more than what you're going to look like in 3 months' time on the beach in a bikini. At the end of the day, no one cares about the way you look that loves you. They care about your insides. They care about your soul. They care about your eyes. They care about your well-being. They care about you, not the size, not the weight, not what the fucking scales say. So if any of those things are impacting your day to day, if you're worrying that you're constantly thinking about food and this food noise terminology is ruining your life, if weighing yourself on the scales every day is taking over your life, if you're not going to places because you don't want people to see you at the size that you are now, please, please, please understand that there is so much more. There is so much more to you than your beast. Now, I'm sorry, again, this was passionate. This was a passionate one from me, guys. But I'm really interested, and this is my plea to you guys. I would love to know how many of my followers and listeners are on weight loss medications or have been on weight loss medications and their experience with it. Anyone that has had restricted behaviours before, how easy was it for you to get weight loss medications? Or have you thought about weight loss medications? Because I think it's something that as this popularity increases, we are going to have to make a stand, because this could be potentially very, very dangerous. Okay, happy Sunday, guys. Lots of light and love from me, and I will be seeing you guys next week, same time, same place. God bless.